Yo, what's up? It's your boy. Yo, I'm gonna try to keep this as short and simple as possible. I've been watching a lot of debunking and just videos on Dragon Ball Super recently, and not just any videos. They've been a lot of videos about Ultra Instinct Goku, about just a whole bunch of different. I'm not even finna explain them all. But what I will explain is this: if you are a big fan of Dragon Ball, and I'm talking about everything from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Super, if you're a real fan of it, you will know that they came out in the wrong order. The order that they originally came out in, or at least in America, was Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, then Dragon Ball Super. Part of that came out backwards. If you're a real fan and you really think about it, it's supposed to be Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, then Dragon Ball GT. Here's why. First of all, I'm gonna start with Ultra Instinct. Ultra Instinct allows Goku to move faster, a lot faster. Now, Vegeta has a form that's a little bit. It's like a ascended Super Saiyan. It's like a Super Saiyan Blue ascended. Now, Goku has always been stronger than Vegeta, except for when Vegeta gets pissed off and powers up. And then that allows him to sort of skyrocket past Goku just a little bit. But it's temporary. Anyway, that's beside the point. Moving that into GT, Goku is a lot faster. Vegeta's a lot faster, and then when they fuse into Gogeta, Gogeta is but like half the speed of either the same speed as regular Ultra Instinct Goku, or about half that speed. Now and not only should that tell you something, but also um, Pilaf is old but still short. Mai is, I want to say, either grown or short, one of the two. And Chow, I think that's his name, the little fox. He's short, but he's old. He's always been short, but he's still old. Back in Super, he had his youth. Pilaf had his youth. Mai had her youth. But then in the future, in like the Zamasu era, Trunks was dating Mai, and she was a grown woman. Point being, oh, also, hold on, something else in Super that's, backwards. Pan was just born. Beulah was just born. Actually, Videl was pregnant with Pan, and that was Battle of the Gods. And then come Resurrection F, she had just had her. Now in GT, that's the future, and you know what I'm saying, they both have a little bit of age on them. And so it's like, okay, like what's up with this? And then Goku is transformed into a kid. So it's like, all this stuff is like imbalanced or somewhat balanced, and it's like it just throws everything off, like completely. So now it's like in GT, first of all, it's like Goku and Vegeta they've already met Beerus, they've already met, whoever. So obviously, working backwards, this supposedly father of all Saiyans, apparently they've somehow ascended past him. I haven't even seen this movie yet. I don't even think it dropped yet. Regardless of whether it dropped or not, Goku and Vegeta have to have ascended past him because, or had to have beaten him in some type of way. Otherwise, Super Saiyan 4 wouldn't even be in the picture. So it's more or less it's like this. The forms are like this. Let's just use Goku's for example. It's base, and then false Super Saiyan, uh, Super Saiyan Ascended, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Ultra Instinct Complete, Super Saiyan 4. But if you take Super out of the equation, then it just goes straight to GT and then it's Super Saiyan 4. Right after Super Saiyan 3. But using Super, then it's going to be, Ultra Instinct and Ultra Instinct Complete. So it's like, why are you... It's like they had to have some type of reason to go backward. Now, also, and something else that throws me off and pisses me off is that after the fact that they made Super, they brought Super Saiyan 4 back into, what is that, Dragon Ball Heroes, just to make it relevant. Make Super Saiyan 4 relevant. So obviously, GT has some type of relevance or is canon in some type of way due to the fact that they bring Super Saiyan 4 back. So for everybody who says Super Saiyan 4 isn't relevant or it's not canon, well, your face has officially been broken because obviously he's relevant in some type of way because he's in Dragon Ball Heroes, so, and he's in every single video game. Maybe not every single one, but he's in a lot of them, so something, like that ought to tell you something. If Super Saiyan 4 Goku is in Dragon Ball Heroes, that should tell you something right off the bat. What it should tell you, I don't know. But he's in it, he's fighting Super Saiyan Blue. It's like the, what do you call it? Goku Black versus Goku thing. Sort of, except Super Saiyan 4 Goku is not evil. I really don't know if he's evil or not. As far as I know, he's not. But it's weird. It's only 8 minutes long. I saw a little bit of it. It's like decent. It's sort of weird. Regardless of whether it's weird or not, my point is it's supposed to be Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and then Dragon Ball GT. And it's for various reasons. But regardless of which way you look at it, which transformations, when they got faster, when they didn't get faster, whatever. It's like, and also like another thing to look at Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball GT. Even though Xeno erased it, when you look at the universe or the future or whatever that Xeno erased, it was looking somewhat similar to GT. Like the city was torn apart in GT, and it was almost at the point where it was plains, just like you see on Dragon Ball Z all the time. Almost at that point, but not quite. But like buildings were torn down to rubble, and that's how it looks on Dragon Ball GT. Sometimes, not all the time. So it's like you would think that GT is supposed to come right after Super, and then they come with Heroes. It's like, okay, Heroes makes absolutely no sense, but it's like I guess they're trying to keep Dragon Ball going. I don't know. I really don't get it. That's like after Super. It's, personally, I think since they made supposedly it's supposed to be one season. If you watch Verve, it'll say Dragon Ball Super, season 1 or whatever. I think they should just stop right there, or make more seasons of Dragon Ball Super, because Dragon Ball Heroes is too far. It's way too far, and it's only in Japan. Somebody somehow found it and put it on here on YouTube. But regardless of where they found it, how they found it, when they found it, it's senseless. It's stupid to me, honestly. Like, how? What's the best way to put it? How are you gonna find something? Not even find something. How do you create something that only lasts 8 minutes and some seconds? Like 8 minutes and 45 seconds. It's ridiculous. Like, I wouldn't even like. Now that I think about it, it's like, okay, first of all, why put Goku from another universe? Super Saiyan 4 Goku from another universe versus Super Saiyan Blue from Universe 7 onto a planet where it's like planet after planet after planet after planet after planet locked in with like some huge near invisible chains, near invisible chains, like locking them all together. It's like the only way you'd be able to escape that, or it's like the same either the same way they got there, or with Goku's instant transmission. But the dude, whatever his name was, he said there's no way off that planet once you're on it. Basically, that's what they were saying. And I don't know if that's true or not because I haven't seen the second episode. I don't know if the second episode is out. Uh, from the way the second episode went, I don't even know if I care to see a second episode. And it's like, if you only gonna put 8 minutes and 45 seconds into it, I mean, Dragon Ball Heroes might not, like, is probably, I would say, dumber than some people think GT is. Like, at least GT lasted longer. Like, at least every episode of GT lasted longer. Like, you don't hear nothing about Shenron. You don't hear nothing about Dragon Balls. Well, a little bit. You hear a little bit about Dragon Balls. You actually see one Dragon Ball, at least. But it's like, you don't see a Shenron. Like, you don't know what he looks like. You don't know if it's it definitely ain't the Super Dragon. Because if it was, I mean, they would have said something about it. So it's like, what is this version's Shenron gonna look like? Is he blue? Is he gonna be, well, we already had a yellow one, we already had a green one, we already had a blue one. I mean, so is this one gonna be more of a black color? Is it orange, purple? Not just the color, but what's his design gonna be? They're still working on that. Is this gonna turn out to be as dumb as some people think GT is? Is it gonna be worse? But personally, just like, in my personal opinion, I think this is going down the path Pokemon's going down, honestly. Like, everybody loved Pokemon, like, when it first came out, and then probably the second season. Maybe even the third. So, that's literally, it's like, um, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and then Dragon Ball GT. That's the first, second, and third season of Pokemon. After that, it got terrible. So it's like, or let's say the first season of Pokemon and then the first two movies of Pokemon. After that, the second season on, from Pokemon, it's terrible. And trust me, I would know. I'm 31 years old, and I used to watch that show. Hey, it used to go hard when I was a kid. But, you know, regardless, so like Pokemon ain't got nothing to do with Dragon Ball Z. They used to be competing shows back in the day. That and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, they still kind of compete, but I mean, not necessarily, but sort of. But now it's like, what, Yu-Gi-Oh GX or something? I used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid, but it's like, from the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh to the last one before GX came out, I used to watch. And I used to love it. But after that, when they started coming out with the newer versions, I stopped. So it was like the original Pokemon, the original Yu-Gi-Oh, and then all of Dragon Ball Z, pretty much. Like, from Dragon Ball to like all the original Dragon Ball, basically, before Super came out, I watched. And I think it was all. I think it all was great. But when Super came out, it was like, what is this? They started to stick with the original script of Z into Super when they showed, like, the first episode, Goku beating Boo and Oob showing up and stuff like that. But then it was like, okay, where are they taking this? These gods, these universes, what is all of this? The god of all gods. It's like, okay, I thought the strongest person that they would ever fight was Majin Buu. Now, they didn't say anything about fighting, they never said anything about fighting Zeno or anything about fighting the Grand Priest. I mean, he's an angel. I mean, so of course, saying, like, he's not gonna, Goku may not beat them, but now Goku was trained by one and trained by a god. Same thing with Vegeta. So, I mean, he's gonna be, like, super strong. But if they're going to end up fighting supposedly the father of all Saiyans, and when you think about it, I mean, he's not even the father of all Saiyans. Technically, since Zeno's the god of all, then, you know, or Omni King or whatever, then technically, if there's a race out there that exists, Zeno created it, and he's the father of all. Anyways, gotta go.